So let us see something about the facts about the corona and the disease itself. The slide. I will not take much of time here. I will tell you some of the facts. The disease is caused by an organism, the virus, and the person, that is you and me, we are called the host, susceptible people. We are ready to get this. But remember, there is one more factor, that is the environment. Now when a body comes to you, you think that your environment is spoiled. That means you will get it from the dead body. So for a disease, there are three factors which is responsible. One is the disease causing organism. Now here it is virus, the coronavirus, and you call it as an agent. And the person who is getting the problem, if it wants to enter into your body, then there should be an environment. A bad environment will increase the possibility of getting this disease or the organism's entry into your body. So if we prevent the interaction of these three, it is possible to prevent a disease. That is what we are doing. That means environment. What is this environment? Anything other than you is an environment. A person next to you is your own environment, and for that person you are an environment. Now what happens? This dead body, when it enters into your area, you think it's a bad environment, so you will get it from this, which is not. We'll see how. The first thing you should know is a difference between a bacteria and a virus. This is caused by a virus. Remember, a bacteria is a living organism, but virus is not actually a living organism. A bacteria has got all the structures for its reproduction, for its multiplication, including a nucleus and a cell wall. I don't want to go into detail into those aspects. But remember, bacteria can multiply even outside a human body. They can be present in the water, feces, garbage, anywhere a bacteria can thrive. It can multiply, it can increase its number, and that you call it as a reproduction, because every organism wants to survive. Every species wants to live. A bacteria is also a life. It has got its own family and it tries to multiply so that it wants to live actually. The virus also wants to live, but virus cannot reproduce itself, because virus, when it comes out of the body, it is a dead organism. So once it enters into your body, it goes into a cell and it makes use of the intracellular components for its multiplication. Remember, I will not use the word they multiply. They produce copies. It is something like a Xerox copies. They produce copies and copies. All the intracellular substances. And finally, their number increases. And once the cell organ, the cell system is exhausted of its components, and once the number of organisms has come to a particular level, what really happens? They burst the cell and they go to other cells and they invade other cells and they produce copies from that cell. This is how it multiplies in number. They need a living cell. Here it is a human cell. Next thing is this virus. Any virus, when it enters, they will search for a particular tissue or a particular organ where they can live and they can multiply. An organism which produces diarrhea will go to the digestive system. An organism which produces jaundice will go to liver. An organism which causes urinary infection, it will go to kidney. Like that, this organism goes to lungs. So I can say lung is the house of this virus. So the lung cells are infected by this. They are attacked by this, and in that cell they multiply. So when there is no cell, when there is no living cell, automatically these viruses cannot live. So now I ask you, when a person is dead, his body cells are dead. Now as I told you, he becomes a body. Now he is equal to a non-living matter. He becomes an object, like a furniture, like a cloth, or like anything. Now the leg, the arms, everything becomes only a surface. That's all. This is what is life. So remember, when the person loses a life, all the organs die, all the tissues and the cells die. Thus, when the cell dies, the virus which is inside the cell also dies. You will ask how much time it takes. Around 2 to 3 hours, that's all. The organism will automatically die. So, in the meantime, from the transit, from the hospital to the burial ground, and preparation, all the preparation I'll tell how they prepare the body for transportation and all, that even takes more than 1 or 2 hours. Don't you think in this 1 or 2 hours all the organisms inside his body will die? Remember I told the lungs are infected. Maybe there may be some organism in his lungs only other than other parts. So the lung cells die, automatically the virus die. So once the virus is dead, a virus inside a body is equal to a virus outside the body when the person is dead. This is what is reality. What does it mean? A virus needs a living host to reproduce in. That is what we have seen. Once the cells of the person dies, the virus also dies, and the time taken, the time of death and the time of death of the disappearance of the virus is around only 2 to 3 hours. You know the mode of transmission. There are only 5 F's. One is flies, fluid, finger, fomite, and feces. See, as far as a dead body is concerned, you may get some flies there. But remember, the transmission through flies, you call it as a vector or something like that. It's not proved. One. Second thing, fluid. Any fluid which is here, when we say fluid, we mean water. Is it waterborne? No. And remember, when you say a fluid, it may be a fluid which is coming out of the dead body through the nose or a mouth. Of course, this fluid may be infectious for the 1 or 2 hours. But remember, this fluid are not allowed to come out of the body because people who are transporting, they plug the nose and the mouth. So from the fluid which is coming out, you will not get, because you keep a respectable distance. You are away from the body. And not only that, people who are very near the body also they won't get, because the nose is plugged, the mouth is plugged, all the holes, all the orifices are plugged. Finger, it's only your finger. You touch and you take. You are not touching, so the finger is ruled out. Next is fomites. Fomites is nothing but the objects which are used by the person, or the objects which are used for the person. For example, the furniture, mattresses, the bed sheets, the utensils, cups, whatever it may be. All these are used by this. You call it as fomite, and all these fomites, they are removed before packing the body. So automatically they go into a bag and they are completely sealed and they are sprayed with sodium hypochlorite and they disinfect them. Either they are disposed of, or they are buried, or they can be used after a proper disinfection. So those fomites, the articles used by that person, they are infectious only to people who are handling them, like doctors, nurses, and the sanitary workers and all. But they have all their protective equipment, personal protective equipment, though they are not getting it. They are also safe. Remember, a person who is handling the body, he has got more chance of getting from the things used by the person, the dead person. Where are you now? You are about half a kilometer away from them when the body comes. You go away, you stay away from this ambulance. So definitely the possibility of getting this problem from the fomites, the articles used by or articles used for the person, not possible, ruled out. Feces, of course, that point 100% is ruled out, because unless the organism is found in the person's feces, and it's not possible. So that is also ruled out. So your doubt is, by allowing the body to get buried in your area, you may get this problem, because it is after all a dead body. You think it's a decayed body or mutilated body, so the organism will be there for hours together, for days, and it will infect you. This is your suspicion. But remember, Let me tell you something. Starting from the hospital, how these people take precautions, what are the things or the guidelines followed in disposal of a dead body. The purpose of these guidelines is number one, the people who are attending the person, people who attended the person before death and after death, they should not get this disease from that particular person or particular body. Second thing, after disposal, others should not get any problem from this body. There are two aspects to protect themselves and protect the public. What are the procedures they follow? I can just list certain things. Number one is the worker attending the dead body. He is performing his duties with all hygiene measures. They are using their protective equipments, a full body cover with all these stipulations, a goggle, a mask, gloves, everything. Remember, they protect themselves, and by that they will not spread the disease. So the possibility of getting a disease from the people who are attending the dead body is ruled out. First. Second, in the ward itself, before they take the body from the isolation room, actually disinfect and seal all the small either injuries or small puncture holes in which they give an injection or an intravenous fluid. All these puncture marks, they remove the needles and they seal the holes and they disinfect the holes and completely sealed so that no fluid will come out through this minute openings. They use a 1% hypochlorite solution and that area is dressed with impermeable material. And as I told you, to prevent the oozing of fluid from the body, the oral, that is the mouth, the nose, all these orifices openings are plugged to prevent the leakage of any fluid. This is the first thing they do before they take the body from the ward, from the isolation ward to a mortuary. Fomites, that is the articles, the dress, the mattress, the bed, everything, the soiled linen, they are all collected and they are all put it in a separate bag. You call it biohazard bag. All these things may contain some of the virus. They are taken, they are put it in a bag. The bag is, the outer side or outer surface of the bag is disinfected with hypochlorite solution. After that, these articles are completely sealed. After sealing, again they spray this disinfectant on the surface of the bag and these bags will be disposed very safely. Now the next important part of this is how this body is enclosed, a bag, the dead body bag. And remember, this dead body bag has got a lot of specifications and guidelines. This bag, the size, the zip, the thickness, everything has got specifications. If you see the specifications, these bags, you see the list specifications. The body bag specific, impermeable, they are leak proof, they are air sealed, and they are double sealed, disposable, opaque, even they color specify. It is better to be white. They advise better avoid black bags. Some people may not like the black. Even that is also specified. And the shape of the bag should be U shape with a zip. The purpose of zip is if some of the relatives they want to see his face, that end alone can be unzipped to show the face, to have a final glimpse of that person. And it is attached with the grips, 4 to 6 grips, so that when they put this bag into these grips will help the people to put the body inside the pit, because the pit is going to be not at the usual pit. It is going to be more than 6 to 7 feet depth. So that is also specified. The size 2.2 into 1.2 meters. This is not the respect they give to the dead body. It is a respect they give to your emotions. It is a care the government takes on you. To prevent infection, any possibility, every small hole is plugged so that no one should get infection from this dead body. So these are all specified and you have ISO standard. Many of our people do not know all these standards. They think it's something like a just average bag. They are resistant to penetration. They are impermeable. Nothing will come out of the bag. Leak proof, completely sealed. All the joints are taken care of. Even the stitching, that area is also taken care of. So every bit of their act is taken with utmost care so that we can protect others from getting a disease from this dead body. So the dead body is placed in a leak-proof plastic bag. The exterior of the body, the dead body, is also decontaminated with disinfectants. The disinfectant we use for a dead body is not like your sanitizer or hand washer like alcohol. Substance is hypochlorite. This hypochlorite we use it not for living organisms. If you and I, can we accept this hypochlorite solution? Now why I am telling is this is now he becomes an object. His body becomes a surface. He becomes inanimate, a non-living object. That is why even the disinfectant used is a hypochlorite solution. And before putting into the bag, this body is wrapped with a mortuary sheet. Now during transportation, what happens? As I told you, the body is secured in a body bag with all specifications, its own standards, and the outside of the body of the bag is decontaminated to prevent the risk of getting this by the people who are transporting it. After getting the body out, what happens to the vehicle? The vehicle is also taken care of after the burial or whatever it may be. The whole vehicle is decontaminated with 1% sodium hypochlorite. Everything is sprayed on the ambulance because remember, the same ambulance may be called now for transporting another person, another patient from their residence to the hospital. They give equal importance to the vehicle because the vehicle should not be a carrier. It can carry the passengers, patients, not the virus. So it is completely decontaminated before the next use. The body they have taken out of the ambulance. Now what happens in the crematorium and the burial ground? What the choice is to burn the body, crematorium. But it is better to cremate the body than to bury because it takes less time. One, completely destroyed, it becomes an ash. It goes in the highest degree of fire and flame. So you are also relieved that the ash will not be a problem once it becomes an ash. But when you take a burial ground due to some religious sentiments, if somebody wants to bury, the first thing they do is they counsel the person who is involved in this burial, the person who is there in the burial ground. They give all the protection for that person. They get the help because it is not just 2 feet or 3 feet depth they are going to dig. It is going to be more than 5 to 6 feet. So they make all the preparations. They counsel the person who is going to do this thing. And apart from that, remember, and they don't do it manually. Most of the time they go for a JCB or something like that. They bury it. They take a big pit. At the last time, the relatives, they are not allowed, if at all allowed. From a distance, they can see the face of the person. They will unzip to the limited level so that only the face is seen. Then about the religious rituals. Without touching the body, anything can be done. These are all to respect the departed soul. Bathing, kissing, hugging, nothing is allowed. Social distancing. This time it is not just 6 feet, even more than that. If the body is cremated, does the ash contain this organism? That organism is very sensitive. 100% it doesn't do. Right. Ash can be collected to perform the last rites of the. Once this is over, the public are not allowed to go near the relatives also. The relatives who have been coming a bit near to him, attending him during his life, they might have got this. They might have got the disease. They may not show the symptoms. So we want to protect the public from the relatives of the person who died. Don't you realize what a situation you are in? You are protected from those people. You are protected from the body. But the people who are handling the body, do you think they are 100% protected? No, they are risking their life. Right? So no gathering. Slide. I think I have given more than enough details what really doctors, paramedicals, and all these people do to protect the people without degrading the sentiments, disrespecting the soul. So, at least after seeing this video, please, it's our humble request, kindly let the soul rest in peace. To my part, I think I have done my job. I have the satisfaction that I have given you details. It is to create faith, confidence in healthcare delivery system, hope. We all will follow the instructions given by the government. And finally, let us prove that all this lockdown really works. Thank you.